What a beautiful morning. Great morning, everyone. Glad to be here with you today. Looking forward to this session. Looking forward to just having a really good time going over these charts together and figuring out what is next and how we're going to trade it, how we're going to position ourselves and continue to masterfully keep ourselves on the right side of the market. If you're on the right side of the market, that's all the beginning. After that, it all comes down to what? I mean, rule number one is risk management, risk per trade. Rule number two, trade management. Everyone's always looking for entries. That's the easy part. All right, let's get going over here this morning. Really, really excited and happy to be here with all of you. If you haven't yet, as we get going right now, go ahead and smash that like button. Smash that like button if you're happy to be here. Smash that like button if you appreciate the time being shared. Smash that like button if you learned something new. Smash that like button if the analysis helps you firm up your own analysis, whether it's because you agree with it or you don't. Here we go over here. All right, let's take a, just really happy to be here this morning with all of you. All right, we're going to start with the S&P 500, right? Everyone's aware of what's going on here with the dollar. We're going to get back to that in 1 second. We'll get into gold challenging the important 1904 resistance level right now. Hasn't yet broke it, but it looks like it has the potential, right? Someone else mentioned Bitcoin looks like it has the potential today to break above that 11,000 level. Silver still lagging behind. We'll get into it all. We're just going to start in order that way. Sprout. That way, if anyone is just joining us, they know, as always, if they want to get caught up, they could start at the beginning with the S&P 500, then move over to the Nasdaq, the Dow, then DXY, gold, silver, Bitcoin, probably get into the metals as well. Thank you, Kips. Appreciate that very much. I liked that one as well, that's for sure. S&P 500, we're starting here right now. I think we got some nice charts over here to work with today. Either which way, I'm not going to let it get to me and just enjoy the session with y'all. All right, S&P 500, right? Step back a second. Let me just tighten that up. I'm working with a smaller space. Let me get to what I need to be, and now we're good. All right, S&P 500, everyone knows that's been following us. We're watching over here this descending wedge, right? The breakout, the retest, and the resumption off, looking beautiful now. This resistance over here is what this morning we're looking to trade above. Now, there was no new entries on the S&P 500 overnight. Why? Because anyone who took that beautiful entry during the live stream yesterday, right, they should have been stopped out at break even if they were managing that trade correctly. Why? Because you became into the first resistance, move your stop loss to break even, and then when the stimulus hopes faded, boom, that should have took you stopped out at break even. I would not enter here because of the large candle. I would not have entered here, the large candle, into the resistance because there's always plenty of time. Here's the thing, that the market's always going to be there. There's always opportunity. There's zero reason for FOMO. FOMO, the fear of missing out, leads to disaster. It leads to chasing price, chasing momentum, leads to terrible performance. If you have that posture that I could just wait until it's clear and get in it, it's there. So right now, that's exactly what we're happening. We're looking for a further extension over here, right? If you look back, and I just want to sit back with you 1 second, and we're going to look at what resistance might come into play, all right? So I'm going to go back over here, and I'm focused in on, I'm looking to see what's some big resistance over there. This line over here, first of all, draws my attention with all the touches as resistance, and then over there as support. I'm going to highlight this line first with you all, and I'm going to drag it out as it comes into play now, because now we need to watch what are some upside targets, right? So here we go. We're just going to draw this out. Let me zoom in just a little bit, and then I'm going to pull this line out over here. All right, that's an upside target. And now, by the way, if you look over here, you see that if we come up into that area, we're running into this little bit area of congestion over here that would provide some resistance that peak down. It's a good looking target on the S&P 500. What about the Nasdaq? Let's take a look over here. Yeah, the retest. We'll talk about gold in a little bit. The retest is not going to come this session. It's not going to come this session. Yeah, for sure, Shane. We're going to be looking at the DXY. We're going to be looking at everything. Nice purchase, BB2B, BB2 bomber for sure. Nasdaq, however, gave a fantastic entry overnight. Let's start here. Let's look at that, and then let's look at some top side targets over there. Nasdaq, of course, has broken out of this channel over here. By the way, insane maneuvering over here during this difficult period that we did, right? Look at that. You have everyone else is just completely like, I don't know, maybe people just throw out things. I don't even know if they believe them or what they're doing, but masterful. Channel over here, broken out to the upside over here, right? We're above our prime trend line, looking very, very, very bullish right now. By the way, I think one of the greatest risks this month of October, is that the election next month, early November, is a non-event. I think that's the greatest risk. Everyone is on the sidelines looking for that clarity, nervous about this huge risk event. Everyone, record shorts on the Nasdaq, speculative positions, and we're sitting here long saying, all right, well, I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm going to follow price. Here we are. Rex, that's a great day. But anyway, we'll get into that later. Nasdaq over here, look, this is a beautiful entry right over there. We have over here yesterday, we looked at together during the update in the afternoon as price was trading up. We're looking for a pullback into the trend line over here and then a resumption out. Here's the resumption out. Here's the entry bar right over there. Where do you put your stop loss? Let's talk about where the stop loss should be. You have one of two places on this trade that you'd probably place your stop loss. One of three places, right? The tightest stop loss would be right over here, right? That's a little tight for me. Why would that be the stop loss? After breaking above the channel, the channel resistance, and then coming back down to test the trend line and then resuming off of it. That's the tight stop loss. By the way, let's also look at take profits before we go back to the stop loss. And just as I did on the S&P 500, I was showing you some areas of interest that I thought was interest. I'm stepping back right now here. Of course, this is a big line over here. Do you see the resistance over here, right? And then over there, the support and the resistance. That's the first one. I don't think we're going to stop there, but I'm going to draw that out. Well, I'll draw that out in a second. Let me just get that in there for you. And then I'm looking to the top side over here. I'm watching this area of resistance, support area. This one looks more probable. I'm going to just draw that. I guess I'm doing it like this now. I'll fix those up pretty later by extending those lines. And then the other one above there, is that also into play? You know what? Let me see where this, I think this one over here, this top line I have over here, this is the one we need to focus on. All right? By the way, again, follow my mouse to the left, this area of congestion, that's going to provide some resistance on the way up. So we got a double line of resistance. That's all the way up here, right around breaking of 12,024, right? That's what I'm targeting. So the reason I'm showing you what I'm targeting, as we come into this first line, by the way, this first area of resistance, that's where the stop losses should be set to break even on this trade if we get up there. Now, what's your stop loss? If you're using this tight stop loss, well, in this situation, I have to say that's something to strongly consider. Now, you have this other right below it, right? That is also the swing low right before it. Not even a swing low, the last low before it, also into that prime trend line. Below that one seems pretty safe. I would say that if we came back down into this channel over here, which had a false break, which you can see on the downside, we had two false breakdowns, right? So now to get one on the upside, would that be, out of the ordinary? I do not think so. However, we have a lot of traders caught on the wrong side of the market. So that's interesting as well. So what else? And do you go down here? Do you put your stop loss below here, below the support, this channel support over there? Like you were dead wrong? I don't think so. I think that seems way too far away to do that. If you did that, you'd be trading obviously a very small position size, but your risk to reward, it would be 1-to-1 at best, probably less. I don't like that one. I think it's one of the first two options you would be considering over there. By the way, if you're happy to be here, go ahead and smash that like button, get me going over here. Come on, let's go. Question about Bitcoin. You said it can go up 14x by late 2021. That's right, winter of 2021. But also said that you lessen your position. No. No, I'm not lessening my position. No. By the way, Midtown, I'm gonna do a video. It's not important right now because we're not even close. But I am going to do a video. It will be sometime soon, within the next few weeks, on how to best trade the bull market phase of the Bitcoin bull market over here that we've just entered, and will accumulate, in my opinion, in the winter of 2021. But I will be exiting my altcoins when Bitcoin is around 18,000. My Ethereum and my Chainlink position, I will be exiting those, simply because I prefer to hold Bitcoin. Simple as that. I do believe Ethereum is going to continue as it did in the first quarter, as I showed you yesterday, to outperform Bitcoin for sure. Nevertheless, I prefer to have my position into what I to believe something that's proven and stable. All right, let's go. Good morning, Amsterdam. Good to see you over here. Let's keep looking. Let's look at the Dow real quick, and then we'll get into the DXY, which is we'll see in 1 second. We got the ISM manufacturing in about 45 minutes. It's the data point of the day. Tomorrow is non-farm payrolls, but at the end or the beginning of the day, it's all a stimulus story right now. You could see the price action clear as day yesterday, as price was bid up on hopes and then squashed. Markets pull back, and then what happens right after that? Well, it's not happening now, but it's going to happen soon, right? And there we are. All right, so here we are on the Dow, and beautiful, right? Here's the channel. Follow my mouse. Here's the channel we've been focused in on. Breakout, retest, conquering the markets all day long. Resumption out, right over there. Where are you right now? Just watching the price action. You can see over here that this is this resistance over here and right over there, and then follow the mouse a little way to the right. You can see that it became, resistance. Briefly support, resistance again. That's where we're held against today. A nice entry on this is either going to be breaking out above this level and then coming back to test that local resistance turn support right here at 27,904, or if we even come back again to test this little bit of local support. But either which way, the Nasdaq is the only index right now that's in play for us, and the other two, they continue their bullish structure. And you can see all three index now have improved. All that damage done during the month of September, all three indexes are now looking very nicely. Does the S&P have to do a little more work and get above this one? This is the prime trend line, by the way. So yeah, the S&P, it's still looking very nice coming out of that descending wedge over here. Got a little bit more work to do. Nasdaq leading the way so far. All right. Gold could become the story of the day, but before we get into gold, we are gonna look at the DXY. All right, and we have the DXY coming back over here. We all dug into this when 94 couldn't hold yesterday, right? When 94 couldn't hold, again, it's all about following price action. When 94 couldn't hold over there, right, that was a sign of weakness, and then we closed, remember, below this trend line support over here. Since then, I said, well, the next thing that should happen is we come in and test 93.55, right? Then yesterday's afternoon update, and then you can see we've came in and we've so far tested 93.55, and then you see this large spike. Maybe that large spike, I'm not exactly sure. I know that overnight in the UK there was a lot of volatility on the sterling pound, a lot of volatility. Perhaps when the pound was trading weaker, you saw a little bit of a spike in the dollar. But let me come over here and let me look at intraday really quick, just so I could see when that spike. Yeah, it's probably off the pound over here. All right, so here we go. Back down to where we are right now this moment. We are between no man's land, between resistance over here, trendline resistance specifically the market's paying attention to. That's where the spike came up into. We have 94. We have to clear 94, which we weren't able to hold yesterday in order for this to turn around. Right, so that's the resistance area, and then we're still watching 93.55, that area of support. We're between the two. If we break 93.55, this looks like a completely false break. Rightfully so, man. Can you imagine how much pressure the dollar has on it? You know, when they're talking about just throwing, everyone's seen the meme of the printer running. So anyway, that's where we are in the dollar. Now let's figure out what's going on with gold. All right, gold we could see this morning coming back and testing 1904. That's the line in the sand. If we clear above it, all of a sudden gold has regained its bullishness, its technical bullishness. I was very clear through the live streams, through the Twitter post, that I believe that gold and silver fundamentally are in a bull market. However, the technicals had gone south. That meant get on the side, wait until they get better again. That could be coming up. It's not right now, right? It's not, again, we don't ever trade the breakout of the resistance level, right? Because you could get what? Long wicks happens all the time. Look over here, that happened. This, if you look on the daily chart, that's nothing more than a long wick, which wasn't a break. All right. So we're getting close, but nothing has been proven yet. There'll be plenty of time. I will position myself long over here for sure, breaking back above 1904. But I will do it with patience, and I will do it with technique, meaning I'm going to wait, right? By the way, just to throw it out there, if we broke up over here and we never had a pullback to retest 1904, because I will go on the resumption out into this trendline resistance, I will go long. I will go long over there. Now, I'll talk about that as that's happening. Is it possible we get a breakout and then break this trend line over here and never get a retest of 1904 and come back down and test that broken trend line resistance, that broken resistance, and confirm it as support? Yeah, that's possible. And I have to tell you, I would be just as happy to pick up a high probability entry on the way up above that trend line over here as I would testing that 1904 level and confirming it and resuming it off. I'd be just as happy for either one. I'm just looking for those high probability trades to get in. What else? Silver, let's take a look over there. But 1904 has not broken yet. 1904 has not broken yet. We're looking what happens on the daily. This could easily get faded. Heads up. All right. Boom, boom, boom. Silver. How many people we got in here today? Because we have a lot of likes. We have 484 likes like that on 1,600 people. That's a pretty good ratio over there. Again, simply if you enjoy being here, if you like what's being shared, if you appreciate the time that's being shared with you, go ahead and smash that like button. We'll look at silver right now. Ali's asking if we see a head and shoulders on silver or a bear flag. We'll check it all out right there. All right, here we go. So I'm going to zoom out over there. Do I see a head and shoulders? I mean, I do not see a head and shoulders. Is that your left shoulder? Is that your head and right shoulder? If it is, it was just this trend line break over there, right? This trend line that we had over there, that was the break. This is already, if it was a head and shoulders, met its target. So even if it was a head and shoulders, that's not a head and shoulders in my opinion, but we had that same trend line over there. That's the neckline, right? That's the neckline over there. And, you know, even if it broke, it's already hit its target. So moving forward, right? Which lines have been important? There's two lines that have been very important over here, right? Remember Tom added the line on gold over here, this trend line back over here, going down over here. And you can see over here, that is resistance also right now, but horizontal 2450 resistance, the level we've been looked at, is also come into play. And then the one below it. Someone else in the live stream was like, hey, clone that line, put it down below there. You can see that's kind of where we held along with our 2330 support over there. So one of the main reasons I started this channel, by the way, was exactly that. I felt that, you know, the more time I spend building up, you know, a like-minded group of people and furthering their skills and ability, that would become like a feedback loop where they then would be able to help in my own analysis and trading. How do you like that? You could see that playing out right here on silver. Thank you, Sprout. So what are we looking at? We're still looking at, it's very simple. Wait, what was the other thing you asked? Ali, you asked if this was a head and shoulders or if it was something else. I'm trying to get back into that. Or a bear flag. Well, no, I don't see either one of those things, and I'm not saying that I'm necessarily right. I just don't see any one of those things. I'm going to keep it simple and focus what I'm focusing on here because you know what? It's provided us like the perfect guide, the perfect map. Everything is trading here perfect. Like technically like 100%, we're going to keep with it because it's giving us the perfect guide over here. Right now, over here, for this to consider to be weak, remember I told you that we were looking at yesterday, this was no man's land, resistance, support over here, and while we're all holding up, we're just hanging out neutral. That's changing, and it's this line, this lower line right now. As long as we're above it, right, you're not looking for any resumption down out of here. As long as we're above that lower trend line support over here, this line over here, hang into any, well, everyone should be neutral. Breaking below this line, that's going to give an opportunity to attack to the short side. I wouldn't do it. I won't do it. Nevertheless, we're still talking about what we expect is going to happen. It's just as important. It's just as important to be able to predict, not predict, but trade what's happening, to see it clearly and watch as it develops, as it is as being in the trade, because it continues to wire your brain correctly. Now, 2450 on the upside remains the resistance we need to get over. And you could see that this trend line over here, right, is now, as it starts rising, the further away we get, it's still close enough where 2450 is the only line that we're worried about. If we don't break above 2450, into the first week of October, at that point we'll be looking, instead of 2450, we'll be looking for this trend line resistance over here to get above, in order for that bullish nature to be regained on silver. So we're just neutral right now, okay? We're just simply neutral. Let's look at Bitcoin over here really quick, and we'll go from there. Whew, what was that? 25 minutes, almost nonstop of just going through this analysis, going through these charts over here. I'm going to take a sip over here of some coffee. All right, here we go. Irie trader, I see a problem with your line mapping. The short-term uptrend, I think it should be parallel to the other uptrends. I don't know. I don't see a problem. It seems pretty, I don't see a problem in that. It's just keep us perfectly on the right side of the trades, At the end, performance matters. Okay, here we go. We're looking at Bitcoin over here. You could see that, first of all, the tight correlation between the dollar right now, between the dollar and the metals, between the dollar, gold, and silver. It is very, very inversely correlated right now. And also with Bitcoin. At the moment. Now, obviously, all those things are going to change, can change. We're just focused in on right now what the market's focused in on. And the whole reason the correlation is so tight, again, it all comes back down to stimulus. You could see that a couple of things that's happening on Bitcoin. You could see Bitcoin is, let me go ahead and get a trend line over here for you. We're kind of focused in on these lower highs over here, which have come down like this. I think that's appropriate. I don't have a line over here to touch, right? I'm going to leave that there, though, because as we break above it, that's really going to set off the bull over here. I want to just an experiment over here. Just as an experiment, I want to see if this lines up to what's happening down over here that we broke out this morning. Not really. It's not clear enough for me. What I see, though, is happening on Bitcoin, and this is what I am following, though, is I do see these lower highs that are developing. You can see 1, and then 2, and then 3, and it looks like we have the potential to be breaking out over there today. That's breaking 11,000. We'll be breaking above that, right? There's not much else to say. Bitcoin is just consolidating. This level below is something to watch out for. This trend line over here, a break below that trend line. All I can say, that will send us back down. Either closing the CME, it will close the CME gap if we break below that trend line. That's at 96, right? That will also take us probably a wick into 94.50, the trend line over here. And it's possible we could trade as low as 88. There's not much else to say on Bitcoin. It's kind of just hanging out, consolidating. It looks as bullish as can be. And when I say it looks as bullish as can be, it's exactly where it should be right now. If you go ahead and you take the first cycle and the second cycle, Bitcoin is exactly following the same pattern as both of those cycles. By the way, technically over here, this was the breakout of the bull market. You could see that if I just keep going to the left, we broke out, came back in and retested. And now what's happening on a not such a small scale is we're just looking for that resumption out, which hasn't occurred yet, right? But and it's going to be confirmed once we get over here. And when that happens, I think that's when Bitcoin's going to make a massive leg up. All right, so we're getting closer. The next thing to watch out for is this trend line over here, right? This, and that's not even, it should be more like this actually. That's the angle I'm looking for. We're on the verge of breaking it out and could do it today. We're on the verge of breaking out and it could happen today. Right? We also see, by the way, gold has been doing, I talked about that relationship all year long. Gold's been doing the hard work first. Gold, and it seems to be doing now, is it's challenging the 1904 area this morning. Now, after that, you see silver make up massive gains on gold. Now, on the same thing, on the flip side, if there's pressure, you're going to see gold hold up better, and you're going to see silver get wrecked a lot harder. But it's been gold does the hard work, silver plays catch up, and then Bitcoin goes boom. It's still happening right now. All right, what else we want to look at? We want to get into FX this morning, but the U.S. equity markets are opening right now. Let's just take a quick look over here, and I see that everything is kind of exactly where it was. What about the dollar is going unchanged right now this morning? But again, we have our levels that we're watching over here. Dollar is in no man's land, but now unchanged on the day after testing below that 93.50, that important support over there. The reason I say it's important is because if we trade below it, that means that this was a failed counter trend rally over here. Then we'll be targeting over here. We'll extend this line over here. I'll extend this line over here. And let me just do it now while I'm here with y'all. That's what we'll be looking as our next target. That's what I will be looking at as my next target if 93.55 breaks. I doubt though. It doesn't look like there'll be any agreement on stimulus this week, in my opinion. I think that's a really big long shot. They're not even. I don't even think they're trying, right? I don't even think they're trying. So, but nevertheless, the market is just forward looking, and if it's not happening this week, when's it happening after the election, right? So it really is really going to depend on who wins both houses over here about what the next stimulus bill looks like. If for any reason the Republicans have a clean sweep, the stimulus is going to look it's going to look a lot less, right? It's going to look on the low side. And if the Democrats have a clean sweep, it's going to be massive. It's going to be massive. So I don't think we're going to see anything this week, but the market's looking forward. The market's looking ahead. That's my opinion. Oh, I have gold at 1904 right now. Did it spike above there? I'll check that out really quick. Um, yeah, it spiked up all the way into 1988. By the way, don't get FOMO'd here. You're like a sniper. What does a sniper do? A sniper sits in his nest and he's looking and he's waiting and he's watching. And as soon as he sees the enemy, like this is seeing the enemy right now, he doesn't start firing off shots. He continues to sit, wait, and watch. If you want to get long gold here on a break of 1904, first you're waiting what happens on the daily time frame. You're seeing if we close above 1904. Then we're going to say, all right, 1904 was broken. Now we're looking to get long here, and then we're waiting for the retest to see if that level that resistance is flipped into support, or it could be a failed breakout, right? And that's why you wait for the retest and then the resumption, because you could close over here, and then in tomorrow's session over here, you could go for the retest and then fail. Boom. So you gotta look for those high probability trades. If you find yourself FOMOing, and chasing trades and getting into trades and then they go against you, sit back, get that posture. Chris, you have a trillion different instruments. You have a trillion different instruments at your exposure. At your exposure. I don't think. All right, here we go. Glenn, I don't know. Do you think they care about the people? I don't. I don't have that belief that government cares about the people at all. right? If not, they would have already have helped the people who are out of work, due to a virus, something out of their control, due to their mistake, right? Of anyway, I don't want to talk about that. Let's go into the charts over here. Let's keep going. That, Rex, is some big growth that I'm seeing over there for you, my friend, and I'm glad to see that and hear that. All right, but listen, there are some people. I'm not saying this is you, Rex. There are a certain amount of people who get very emotional when they have winning trades. Those same people, when they have losing trades, will be even more emotional. If you find that you're emotional when you have losing trades and that you're very emotional when you have winning trades, you need to become more detached. The only way to become detached is using the correct risk management. It's the single most important piece of trading. And I don't know why traders don't really focus in on that so much. You need to have the correct risk management. Otherwise, you will never make it. There's no way that you're going to be, if you're risking, a 0.5% per trade, 1% per trade, there's no way that you're going to be emotional, and it's going to give you clarity to sit and wait and to get in and out as you should. All right. Bum, 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 bum. David, Oanda has a fantastic app that you could use to trade. Oanda, first of all, is a phenomenal broker. They're phenomenal for many reasons, and they've been around for such a long time. I was using them back in 2001. But one of the greatest things about Oanda is they trade in units instead of lots. So no matter how much money you're using, you can use perfect money management, something that cannot be done on MetaTrader 4. But they do connect directly to TradingView also, which is really neat. Or you could just use their app. All right. Yeah, I'm trading in the zone. I haven't read it. I've bought the audiobook. I haven't listened to it, but again, for the last 20 years, I've heard nothing but the greatest things about Mark Douglas. All right. Yeah, let's look at Tesla. I'm here to enjoy this session over here. Let's take a look at Tesla, see what's going on. It's been fantastic. I mean, thank you for asking. It's absolutely been fantastic seeing the kids just enjoying the pool and the ocean. And there's nothing that makes you happier as a parent than seeing your kids happy. So thank you for asking. Yeah, Alonda doesn't trade stocks. No. All right, let's go look at. Oh, by the way, does everyone see that? I want everyone to see what we're looking at here on Tesla. Everyone should know, right? Um, so what we're looking at on Tesla, by the way, is a breakout here to the upside. We were looking as we came into here for a rejection. You could see that was probably an entry right over there being a rejected down, right? And a stop loss would have been on the. That's the thing about stocks is that like you can only trade them certain hours, and then you get these gaps over important levels. It's just so annoying. It's such an inferior market on so many levels. It's ridiculous. But that aside, let's look at what's going on over here. And just let me rewind. We were watching this consolidation pattern over here that's all grayed in. And I said if it breaks out to the upside or downside, that's the trade to take. It broke out to the downside. And then you could see if I zoom out, it came right into our trend line over here, right? It came into the trend line and closed at that support. You could see that it wicked down, but then it closed back above that support. That support held. So an aggressive trader, not myself, because the markets were also breaking down over here, the indexes, could have took that long off the support. I would not do that, right? I said that I would be looking and waiting for us to come into this trend line and a rejection off as a place to look to go short. Should have went short right over here, right around 417. And then I said my stop would be if price traded above this trend line. That's where you are right now. You're now open up, gapped up above that trend line. Time to exit, and not only that, but reverse long. Now, is it possible you get whipsawed over here? Yeah, it's possible, but I would move my stop now. Where would my stop be? Um, I think anyone following Tesla right now should be long. You have to look at where your stop would be, though. Flipping long, too, by the way, out of a short into a long. Very rarely do I do that. Where would the stop be if you were into this trade, right? A failed breakout is going to be below this trend line over here. And then you have, I guess it's going to be right around here, this low, right around 409. I'm just going to leave that in there. Maybe I'll change the color. I'm going to make it red just as the stop loss, so everyone, when we come back to this, could see and know. So let me do that. Let me just change that to red. That signifies a stop. And then there we go. Tim, absolutely. I'm glad I caught that comment. Glad I caught that comment. Definitely. JL, be aware your channel, Mark Douglas. It is scary. Oh, I channel Mark Douglas. Really? I'm interested. Someone shared with me the book. I got on a plane once, and I literally read, like, I don't know, it was the first like 15 pages or so, and then I just didn't have the opportunity. So I bought the audiobook because I do prefer audiobooks, right? I prefer learning through audio and through video, and I just haven't had a chance. But that's interesting. I'm glad that's interesting. Thank you. Yeah, let's look up. Let's go down over here. Let's look at copper, platinum, palladium. Start over here with copper because I see it's trading below $3 over here. Oh, nice big rejection over here. That's probably offering up a buying opportunity, right? So by the way, I have this $3 resistance over here. I'm not really sure the market's too focused on that area now as we're just going back and forth between it. I think we kind of need to widen out our levels over here, keeping obviously the support over here, that double touch support, and above it maintains that bullishness ever since this channel breakout over here. That's for sure. So this leads me to believe this could be a buying opportunity developing, but it's cloudy. That's all I could say. It's cloudy. I don't see any clarity. I'm going to move this up to here though. Focused it on over there, those 3 points, and buying off support. I don't know. It's just cloudy. I can hear it on my voice. Let's look at palladium. Everyone should just be able to see the pullback into support, resuming off now, but not much else to offer. Gold and silver right now are trading technically beautiful. They're easy to spot. I don't really see it here so much. I don't have much to offer, and I'm not going to offer you anything if I don't have some insight to offer to you. Rest assured, I'm not going to speak about something unless I believe I had something to add to the conversation, right? Again, and here on platinum, and I haven't drawn it in, but every time I bring it up, I say just clone this in your mind. You can see these 2 touches over there. Now we're coming towards the upper end of resistance. So by the way, out of all these we just looked at, of these 3, out of copper, palladium, and platinum, this is offering the most clarity in my mind, right? And if you weren't leaning in down over here, it's breaking out above this channel will offer the next opportunity to go long, and that will be a good one. But right now, this is inside this channel, and if you didn't go long off the lower support of the channel, like you should not be looking to go long until we break out or come back down and retest this 805 support. So not much to offer over there. All right. Mark, trading psychology. Venezuela, Alvaro. Thank you for that. I was just reading some comments for a second. I'm into hanging out and having a good time with y'all this morning. All right, let's keep going. Let's take a look at what's going on right now. What do I think of the copper trend? What do I think, Jordan? What do you think of this copper trend line? Gene, you got to send it to me. I can't see it over here. All right, silver. Let's keep going over here. I don't want to get caught up in the comments. We'll keep going over here. We have the S&P trading now at session highs. Let's take a look. Markets have been opened 12 minutes, and we have at the top of the hour, we have the ISM manufacturing. That's probably what the dollar is looking to key off for the rest of this session. So S&P, right, resuming out and now coming above. We're looking for a close of this prime trend line. That will be uber bullish. Nasdaq gave a beautiful entry earlier this morning. Let's see what's happening now. We got our levels. We gave a very clear and easy look this morning I see that gold is trading above 1904. I like that. Kind of on autopilot. It is Thursday, which means that we have a lot of room still for our trades this week. I want to take a look at what's going on here in FX right now, and we're going to start with the Euro US dollar. I want to see, I think there's some setups that I want to look at what's going on. So some people in the Conquering the Markets group talking this morning about some Japanese yen pairs, so I want to check in on those. By the way, right, this is what we were looking for. You could see the little cheat sheet I had in over here. And we had so far that test of resistance, the pullback, and now resuming off. We got this bit of resistance over here still to get through before that opens up the upside on the Euro US dollar. That coincides perfectly on the DXY with that 93.55 support. So those two are trading in symmetry. All right, I do want to check out those Japanese yen pairs. I don't look for the monthly so much at all because the amount of lag on the monthly chart is way too much for me. I'm trading on the 8-hour time frame, so therefore, first of all, I don't even consider any of the time frames, because if you do, you're always going to get conflicting indications, right? Your time frame is one indicator, and if you're looking at the whatever, if you're looking at the 8-hour and then you're looking at the monthly and or the 1 hour or the 4 hour, all those things will conflict with each other. There's no need to do that. I'm focused in on the 8-hour, and on the 8-hour, I get the best read on the markets, right? It's not too small of a time frame where I'm getting whipped around, and it's not too long of a time frame like a daily where I'm fighting lag, right? It gives me precise entries. By the way, we live in a global world today. It trades 24 hours a day. You got the futures trading all night, and you got 3 different sessions. You got the Asian, the European, and the New York session, right? The 8-hour accounts for all 3 of those sessions and the flow of the market during all of those. Anyone trading on the monthly time frame or considering the monthly time frame, you're just trading at an enormous disadvantage. Look what we've been able to do on the 8-hour time frame. In the last few weeks were extraordinarily difficult, and we were in, whether we were in that descending wedge pattern on the S&P 500, right? And we were able to trade that breakout of that. Or on the Nasdaq in that channel, which broke down, we looked to attack to the downside. We got out really quick, came back into the consolidation, and then now have gotten long again here on the upside. You know, that's some precise stuff right there. That's what you want to do. That's what you want to focus on. Yep, that's a heads up for sure. You definitely want to. It's I don't know if I think it's like $7-8 a month. Money extraordinarily well spent. All right, here we go. And by the way, I'm not if someone puts out a nice comment like that and I'm responding to that, I'm only doing that with like the intent of helping them for sure. That's otherwise, many people put out comments and whatever. If we're talking about something, it's important, and the only purpose of being here together is to build each other up and to help each other succeed. That's the only goal here, right? So that's what we're doing, and you have to go with what works, and I say this with just humility. The channel's been this October right now, 1 year now. At the end of this month will be 1 year. There's not anyone that I know of who's come anywhere near close to and this 2020, what a year. It's been insane. There's been insane, and we've been all over it. We took that Tesla, by the way. All right, let's keep going. Here I'm looking at the Australian dollar, Japanese yen. The Australian dollar, US dollar, which is actually, you could see 2 things are happening. First of all, able to regain over here as you see the indexes gaining that risk on move over here. This is also joining. This is pretty good. It's a pretty good level over here, and trading above it. This offers opportunity, very good opportunity now on the long side over here. Whether or not we're able to hold this trend line over here. Or this support over here at 0.71823. All right. So this is definitely yellow lighted. Except I don't think it's going to happen this London session. It could be. If we get a pullback, some lower highs, and then resume out of it, that's something to consider. I do want to focus in on those Japanese. Yeah, you could choose the 8 hour time frame in MetaTrader 4. By the way, just go to this channel, Conquer Trading and Investing's playlist. Look for the Forex playlist, and inside the Forex playlist, look for the video that says setting up MetaTrader 4. That says custom time frames in MetaTrader 4. There's a tutorial how to set up your 8 hour custom time frames in MetaTrader 4, and in the description of that video is the indicator that you need to do it. The indicator you need to do that. All right, Australian dollar, Japanese yen. Let me come in over here and see what's going on. It's very almost the same exact thing that's happening on the Australian dollar, US dollar, where we regain this trend line over here, and then you have that horizontal support. Both of those now offering opportunity on a pullback to get long, but it's not happening right now. I don't have an 8 hour for think or swim. If you're using Aaron, the best thing to do, by the way, is do what I do. I don't trade off of TradingView. I use TradingView because it's simply the best charting platform there is. And I trade off of my brokers. So do that. Just use TradingView, use the 8 hour time frame on TradingView, and then place your order on whatever broker you're using. All right. I'm just seeing symmetry across the markets, but anyway, I don't mean to go too fast. Sometimes I have that 20 years of experience and I'm able to process information. I'm seeing right now that I'm seeing what's developing in that markets, and that's going to be that opportunity now that we've seen to we had a fake breakdown and now we're coming back out of it, up of it. But there's no opportunity today. There's no opportunity today. So that's what I'm focused in on. What about the Euro Japanese yen, right? You can see this is coming into resistance. You can see the resistance is clear as day over there at 124.30, and you can see we have not cleared above it. Is it possible that that is setting up a rejection? It absolutely is. It absolutely is. If we get rejected over here, meaning price makes lower lows during that London session coming up, that looks like a good trade over there. That's interesting. Is that a weird head and shoulders? So a lot of traders, is that like a left shoulder, a head, and a right shoulder? If that were the case, I'm sorry, this needs to, hold on one second, just bear with me here. Let's get going back over here. Let's get going together, guys. Let me pump this up a little bit over here. I can't see that red. I need to get that into a better color. That was my Tesla stop loss over there. Let's get this back going. All right, here we are. If this was a head and shoulders, all right, see that head, the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder. Looks like we're lagging a little bit, no problem. By the way, we return home on Saturday. Monday, we'll be back to our normal flow with my normal setup. We'll have the nice Mac, the nice system, and nevertheless, still happy this week over here to be sharing with you all. All right, here we go. If that's the left shoulder and that's the head and that's the right shoulder, right? If it is, you're still looking at, by the way, just clone the trend line above me. My mind is doing it. I don't need to do it. You're still simply looking at that, which is the neckline, right? Or is this the neckline over here? I don't know. I think, though, and the whole purpose of me doing that is I think a lot of people are always seem to be focused on head and shoulders. And I think you're way better off not really focusing on head and shoulders, but focusing on trend lines. Just like a lot of people always are preemptive of head and shoulders patterns. They get in before the right shoulder completes, before the neckline breaks, and it usually ends in disaster. I think by just focusing on trend lines, you're going to give yourself a bit of an edge. What is that edge? Simplicity. Simplicity is one of the biggest edges you could give yourself in the market. Taking something so extraordinary, complicated, and complex as the markets and simplifying it down is nothing short of genius. You need to do that. So let me just erase all that stuff. Don't need to complicate your life. Keep it simple. And let's keep going. Yeah, Greg, I'm glad you picked that up. That could be what I believe is the biggest risk event going into the next 5 weeks or so. That the election night is a non-event. We'll see. All right. Oh, we're reverse head and shoulders. Let me just zoom out a little bit. Anyway, I don't see it. But what I do think is the most important, what I know is the most important thing to focus in on right now. Again, we make a living off the 8-hour time frame. We focus right what's in front of us. And this 124.30 resistance right over here, which is definitely in play. Look right here, resistance. Look over here, the support. 1, 2, 3 touches, 4 touches of support. When that line broke, it was resistance. Resistance again earlier this week. And now again, this line is hot. That's the only line you need to be focused on, right? And if we're rejected over here, that offers a short opportunity. My color's messed up. This is what you need to focus in on because this is offering simplicity and it's offering clarity. This is going to improve your training, your trading, focusing on what's in front of you, focusing what the market's focused in on, and giving yourself that edge. All right. So I'm not saying anyone's wrong or right. I don't know, but I do know what we want to focus in on over here. All right. Let's look at also. I don't see a reverse there either. Cable's absolutely crazy, and we knew that going into this time, right? We knew that going into this time because of what is going on with the Break exit. We're getting down to crunch time over there. I've said over and over again for the past couple of months, I'm completely avoiding pound pairs because of the volatility that could change with simply a wire, with simply a headline. All right, what's going on? Let me take a look over here with y'all. By the way, 800 likes. I appreciate that little bit of support, that love over there for sure. There's something else I wanted to check on with y'all. I want to go back and I want to look at the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. I want to look at the US dollar, Japanese yen. Let's check in with both of them. Here's the New Zealand dollar, Japanese yen. And all right. So by the way, extend this trend line over, right over here, right now, right? And you can see that we're coming into that resistance here right now. What does that say to me? This is a beautiful, beautiful, by the way, before I go there, that's the main part of this analysis right here, is that trend line that we're coming into right now. What are we looking at over here? March low, hold on. March low, since March low, we're in a strong uptrend, right? What has this been since June? This has been one giant consolidation pattern, right? One giant consolidation pattern. What does that mean to me? It means to me we're getting set up for here for another big breakout. It could be to the upside or it could be to the downside. I don't know. But this trend line over here, this is offering me a nice little edge, a nice edge over here. Getting above it, I definitely want to be looking at the long side over here. That could possibly take us to taking out over here the yearly high of 72. Unless back in January and February we traded above that. I'm not looking right now because I'm working off of my laptop and it's not that important. But this last high over here, at least I could say at the end of August and September, this looks like a nice setup that's developing. Now, would I take this to the short side here if it's rejected? If we're rejected over here, would I take this to the short side? My answer to that is absolutely no. And the reason being is because I like the Euro Japanese yen short into that resistance a lot better. If this breaks out over here above this resistance, right, I am then looking for a retest and a place to enter long. And I like that trade a lot. And probably, well, I'll talk about where my stop loss will be after I get into after that's an active trade. But I like this trade a lot. I like how that's setting up. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. The XY is trading at 93.80. We have the ISM number in 2 minutes, so we'll stick around to see what happens there and how the dollar reacts off of that. That's a good reference. Going into the ISM, dollar's trading at 93.80. All right. And we also see, by the way, I'm interested to look at the euro. I noticed that the pound is back into pressure right now. The pound is under pressure right now, and that could be helping the DXY bid right now. I'm not sure what the euro US dollar is doing. Just a quick let me look at that next, but first let me just continue state the obvious. Right now, the US dollar Japanese yen continues to be trading within this consolidation pattern we have right over here. All right. So we're watching and waiting as we're going to get close to a breakout or a breakdown right now out of this triangle pattern that we see. All right. So we're just going to, that's just for future reference as we're getting closer and closer. Euro, US dollars, take a look. So I'm seeing as the DXY, right, is trading up now towards the high of the session, that the euro is not really moving much, which leads me to believe that's a little bit, but not much, which leads me to believe this euro is still up on the day. That's mostly coming from the pound pressure right now. All right, it's kind of important to be aware of. So we have 1 minute now to the ISM. I'm kind of interested to see what that print is. DXY is unchanged on the day. What's gold? See, gold right now is trading under 1904 or at 1904. We're waiting to see what happens at the close of today on gold. Very important. And just kind of hanging out, waiting to see how price reacts right here, right now, and to see if the market's focused right now on this ISM. S&P has come off quite significantly in this past 15 minutes. That's something of note. We'll look at that. I mean, I'm just waiting to see if there's any price reaction, waiting for that number to come out. I don't know if it's come out yet or not. If it has, the market hasn't really responded. And then the next thing I want to look at is that resistance on the important level on the S&P 500 that we need to watch. Let me just check the calendar here, see if a number came out or not. Yeah, it was a non-event. The number came in basically just below expectation. I got expectations were 56 and it came in at 55.4. All right, here we go. So what does that mean? Not a whole lot. So we're gonna continue following price. Pretty much a non-event, right? By the way, S&P 500, watch this trend line resistance to close above or below it. We'll check in this afternoon. That's what we're watching for. If we are rejected, right? I'm not saying that we're going to be at all. If we're rejected, we're still looking over here at a place. This will be a good place to lean in and buy if we hold the support over here. Our very important support at 33.39, right? It's a break below this trend line over here, break below that support, that will start saying, all right, at that point we're neutral. We will not be looking to attack yet because this still has the possibility, as I pointed out early in the week, this breakout of this descending wedge could even test down over here at 32.75 and then resume off. So we're watching the close over there, just giving some important levels that I'm watching over there. Nasdaq, again, we looked at that. Nothing has changed. We looked at the buy entry this morning. We looked at the places we would place stops and why. We looked at where the stop loss gets to move to break even, and we looked at potential take profits on the Nasdaq. That's an order. S&P 500. Thank you for this comment over there. Hold on 1 second. S&P coming off due to Pelosi stating very skeptical about the deal with Mnuchin. Of course, there's no. I mean, we said that as we started, that it doesn't look like anyone wants to have any type of deal. Obviously, it's just all game theory. It's in one party's interest not to have a deal, to try to disrupt everything as much as they can, to try to win the election. And the other one is obviously not looking to spend, $1 trillion to bail out just specific urban areas. Anyway, no politics aside, we're just looking at what is, right? But either which way, in my opinion, the market is still going to be looking forward to that stimulus that is coming. And again, it all depends on election night, who wins what, and then we'll find out to what degree that stimulus will be. Could it be? Could Trump at this stage? I don't know what's going on with that. There is some people believe there's the possibility that as we get really close to the election, if there's no stimulus, that the Treasury will issue direct checks through an executive order, which is probably illegal, but it won't matter because it will be challenged in the courts later. And if the checks go out, the checks go out. And that could be a last ditch effort to buy votes for sure. No question about that. On the other hand, the other side of the aisle, I mean, people are suffering, and anyway, politics is politics. It's them versus us. It's not the left versus the right. It's them versus us. Jordan, do you trade NQ futures or QQQ for Nasdaq based on your channels? I'm not really understanding the question, but whether you're trading, the NDX, whether you're trading the NQ over here, it's all the same analysis. It's all the same exact analysis. They're all tracking the same thing. Same thing with whether it's the SPX, XPY, the ES, or like a CFD over here. It's all the same analysis. Anyway, it's just, James, I mean, you could, it's just all noise though. This is why we trade off the 8-hour. It's just all noise. And not only that, we have our levels over here, right? On gold, it's very specific. On gold, as long as we're trading above 1880, we're neutral until we break above 1904 or break below 1880. And anything happening in here right now is just noise. Don't get caught up in that whiplash. Get off those small time frames, right? And then use that perspective as an advantage. That perspective is that time, right? Even if, again, remember we were trading above 1904 today, I said, no, you have to wait for the close. And now we're trading below it, but still you have to wait for the close. This is just noise right now. Jordan, can you just give everyone advice on taking the trade and walking away after it's a habit? Yeah. So Rex, let me just talk about this because it's very important as you brought up. And, here we are. You got to follow the promptings of the spirit here. Listen, a lot of trade. When I get into a trade, first of all, I know, all right, I'm using that patience and I'm waiting for the right time to enter a trade. When I enter that trade, I've already done my analysis and I've waited to the right time to enter. That includes the time frame, the time of day, right? I know where my stop loss is. You see right now when I was looking at the Nasdaq with you, where what I did was I look at the entry and my stop losses, okay? Because you don't know what size position you're entering unless you have your stop loss. It's impossible unless you know where your stop loss is to know how to position your trade correctly. Once I do those two things and my stop loss is where I know I'm wrong. If my stop loss gets hit, I know I'm wrong, right? And so the next thing I do is when I enter that trade is I'm not exiting that trade until my stop loss is hit. Therefore, I'm not watching price. I'm not going to be tempted if price all of a sudden goes a little bit against me to exit that trade, which is stupid, right? You already did your analysis. Could you imagine doing all that work, spending all that time to get the correct entry, know where you're wrong on the trade, and then exiting it before your analysis is proven correct? That's a loser. You can't do that, right? So the best thing to do is after you enter that trade is not watch that instrument anymore. You know where you're wrong. You have your stop loss, and there's nothing else to watch. Until I get to my first area, my first next level of support and resistance, I showed you on the Nasdaq, right? The first thing I showed you, the next thing I showed you after I showed you where I'm putting in my stop losses, I showed you where I would look to go ahead and move my stop loss to break even. I said, this is the resistance I'm watching on the upside, and if we come up into that area, I'll then tighten up my trade to stop loss to break even. So unless I get stopped out of the trade or I move my stop loss to break even, I don't touch the trade. I don't exit that trade. You have to do that. I don't think that matters to you whatsoever, Arshan. I'm here. That doesn't matter, right? I appreciate that though. What is the right time to enter a trade when you only look at the 8 hours? When the price closed above your entry or when it hit? You don't wait for the close of the 8 hour bar. You take that entry as price makes that higher high or that lower low. Let's take a look at Jason WTI over here. It's been a while. Been avoiding that on purpose. Let's take a look right now. DXY is basically unchanged on the day though, at the high since New York entered. And by the way, and I'm going to come back to oil right now. 1 second. Thank you, Matthew. Glad to have you here with us. That's for sure. The DXY, right? We look at that. I mean, it's so beautiful, right? You see how price came right into the 93.55, and so far it's held that support. It's bouncing off that support, but it's coming into that resistance. We need to close above 94.02, 94 in order for this to have that bullish posture again. Right now, we're in no man's land between support and resistance. Let's look at WTI. Augustine, what about stop loss placement? What if your analysis is placing the stop loss under or over a trend line? Would you continue moving your stop loss following that trend line to spot not? No, that's not how we trade at all, right? Listen, I sincerely and highly recommend taking the course and working with, first of all, stop loss placement, right? And then more importantly, how you manage that trade, including when you and where you're moving your stop loss. No, I don't ever trade the S triple Qs, ever. We gave a good look at the Euro US dollar already right now. I don't know if I could find that. We'll take a look at that in a second. No. No, I don't go all in on a trade. No, Glenn, absolutely not. Again, I've said this session has come up so often. The single most important, there are two most important things about trading. Number one is risk management, and number two is trade management. Absolutely not. I would never ever do that. All right, let's go. Let's keep going over here at WTI. And all right, this looks good. Let's back up a little bit. And we see that, by the way, everyone who's been here remembers, as we came into this support over here, I said this is the place to lean in and buy. And then when we came into that resistance after the storm, do you remember? I said this is the place to lean in and sell. Here we are, right? That trade is just slowly dripping down. And by the way, I think that you should just stay this is sideways. It's a market to avoid. It doesn't look interesting whatsoever. However, coming back into that support over here, let's see what happens, right? Do you take profit? I mean, you take a small piece off. Do you take profit though, full profit? It depends. If we bounce off of that support, it would exit the trade. But there's the possibility that we could push through that level. That's what I would be looking to do. Always push trades multiple levels. Wouldn't enter this trade anyway because it's sideways, right? But I think that if we get the opportunity to trade down towards 34.41 support over here, or even lower, I don't think that will happen. Those would be really good opportunities to lean in and buy. Yeah, we could look at the Euro US dollar. Let's go over here. So, hey, listen, if you're new here, welcome. Glad you're here with us. Definitely, be smart. Take the posture of seeing what's going on over here. What could I learn, right? It should become very clear to you very quick that you've stumbled upon something special. This could really, really help improve your trading, right? But that's the better posture to have because you're going to learn a lot. Just go ahead, welcome. Subscribe to the channel. You're gonna. This is you. I don't know how it happened. Thank God for the algorithm getting you in here, but you're definitely going to do better off with first waiting, observing, and then when you find out what's going on over here, then we look forward to you contributing and helping us. All right. Let me take a look at the euro US dollar. What's my opinion about buying a scam? It's a scam, right? I mean, it's a scam. So here we go. Euro US dollar. We're looking at this very important level over here. This is no man's land too, by the way, and you can see that on DXY. Get above this level over here, and that opens up the long side. Confirm that into support, and that opens up the a buy side trades on the Euro US dollar. There's nothing to do right now as you're into resistance. Never buy into resistance. Never buy into resistance. Never sell into support, right? You always wait for that breakout. If we get that breakout above, confirm that resistance and support, that's opening up a beautiful buy side trade. However, at this point over here, we're neutral. And I think that we got to wait before we start looking at the downside over here. It's this 12-year trend line, right, that would open up the downside. So just wait. Wait. It's your greatest asset is waiting. Emil, we have on Tuesdays, we have live training sessions. As you sign up for the course, you're going to start receiving a series of emails, and these are going to get you set up for how to get the most out of the course and how to follow it correctly, right? So look out for those emails. It'll also get an email for the private Telegram group, and then you're going to receive also when we have our next on Monday at latest some information on what time Tuesday's training session will be. Also, you're going to be receiving an email with the recommended Conquering the Markets playlist, which will give you all the past training sessions as well as a series of videos on trade management, right, on stop loss placement, not Mark Douglas psychology, but the psychology that I use. And aside from that, you know, after that first month, like you said, a test month, if you decide to upgrade to the yearly membership, just go ahead and send me an email. I will refund your last payment after you upgrade to the yearly for sure. All right, everyone, we're going to call it a session. And definitely, you know, there's a lot of game ahead of us. I don't want everyone, well, MV48, we give a beautiful look at gold. The first thing we do, just so you know, is we look at the S&P 500 at the beginning of the session. Then we look at the Nasdaq, the Dow, then the DXY, and then gold and silver. And if you go back on the live stream and you pull back and you watch that, anytime you join in, you want to see, and then Bitcoin after that, you want to see what's going on with any of those majors. Go ahead and watch that analysis. On gold right now, we're looking at a very important resistance level here, 1904. If we're able to clear above 1904, close above that on the daily today, that will be a break of this important resistance. We'll definitely be looking to buy then. All right, then we'll be looking to buy on a retest and a resumption out. But I noticed one thing though, you know, on both the euro and gold, you're looking to buy into resistance. It's very dangerous. Jordan not reading you today. That's because I'm out of the office, Kip. But Kip, the trade on oil the trade on oil has been down ever since that resistance, right? Over here, this was, remember I said buy into that support? The storm came. Was I lucky? I don't know. Who cares? We came into the area of resistance, and I said now people should be looking to sell off a rejection of that resistance, holding a short trade. It's all on the uploaded videos, though, by the way. Just go back over here. Go back to, you know, the September 8th session, and you could see when I said you should lean into the support and buy it. Then come back down over here. Come into the September 17th session, and I'll say, all right, we're into resistance now. This is where you should sell. Here we are today. You're managing a short position. But if we come back in here into the 36.72 and we don't break down, you're looking to exit that short and also looking to buy off there. That's the way I see it. All right. We'll do some longer sessions next week when I'm back, you know, off my laptop and working with the goods. But this is a good session. It was the best one of the week. I enjoyed it. Got it, Sam. Thanks everyone for being here. John, one of the most important factors. Kip and everyone else, by the way, it's not easy for me to read the comments and follow the conversation until I'm back into my office on Monday. So I'm not really, I'm not able to follow the comments well at all. So I am missing a lot of what's going on. And that will be back to normal on Monday. Wayne, go to the beginning of the live stream. We look at the S&P and then the Nasdaq. Eugene, checking in on the Euro US dollar, on the Euro Australian dollar right now. By the way, do you see that was the last test of resistance? We rejected, and by the way, I need to tighten up that area of support right over here. All right? Just bring that down a little bit. The computer's lagging right now with the music. Right where my mouse is, you can see that we're coming down into local support right over there and resuming off of it. But more importantly, you are in a pair that's trading sideways. It's trading sideways, and it's in no man's land in the middle of it. It is into some support over here. There's no question about it. But this pair has been going nowhere. It's sideways. And that's it. Again, the resources are just maxed out right now. Otherwise, I would give you a better look. I live in Mexico. Thanks, Wes. I appreciate that very much. I appreciate each and every one of you. Yeah, listen, there's a lot to learn for me too every day. That's how I approach the markets. Every day for the last 20 years, I'm looking to learn every day. It's that growth mindset. And depending on what the market's offering us, we're taking whatever lesson it's offering, right? Thanks, Caleb. Wayne, get on the 8-hour. Get on the 8-hour time frame. You're all great. Thank you very much. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Thank you, Justin. It's very special to me. I agree, Justin. It'll be 1 year at the end of this month. It's amazing. I feel extraordinarily blessed to know and share with all of you. Martin, thank you. Aaron, Denata. Yeah, we are the smart money. Of course. Asif. We are the smart money. That's been proven. It's all in the videos. It's all in the videos. Nobody has come close this year to being anywhere close to it. We are the smart money. Hips, have a beautiful day. Wow, 936 likes. I appreciate the support, everybody. Sarah, thank you. Doctor, good to hear from you, brother. You always bring a smile to my face. Oh yeah, that's John. There you go. I'm going to get myself a smoothie right now. Thank you, John, for that. That's right, Gene. This comment is true as can be. It's been difficult, it's been choppy, and we are navigating it with confidence and clarity. That's for sure. Thank you, my brother. Thanks for being here. Eduardo, thank you. Ryan, welcome, man. I have no idea. It was a good session. Maybe by the end of the day we'll have 1,000 likes. Thanks for that. Thanks everybody. Thanks for being here. Sean, great way to own it. Bitcoin under 7K? I don't think so, man. I don't think that's happening. But I held through 3,800, right? Do you think I'm buying more if it goes into 7K? Of course. I don't think that's happening though. I don't think that's happening. Maybe anything could happen. 2020, as oil had gone down to negative $37 a barrel on the futures, it has been proven anything could happen, and you have to be prepared for the unexpected. Everyone, have a beautiful, beautiful day. I look forward to this afternoon, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Absolutely. Thank you all. God bless you all, and I'll talk to you later. Great to have you with us. Alvaro, thank you, brother.